So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
I howled that one. I apologize for the shitty start. My monitors are so big I can't see that corner of my monitor to push the right button.
Are you serious?
Yeah. My microphone's right there.
What was that?
That was me burping, sorry.
Oh, gross, man. That was right in my ear.
I know. That's lobster, too. Yum.
Welcome to high school.
Wait, you had lobster?
Yeah, I just said that.
You are in Nova Scotia. Hello.
Yeah, I went to Sobeys to get a few things, and then they had lobster on for Father's Day for $8 a pound, so I grabbed one.
Oh, did you? Right on.
And they were actually fucking full.
Was it cooked?
It was already cooked, yeah.
Oh, I see. I wouldn't do that.
I was gonna get one. I was gonna get a live one out of the tank, and then I was like, that means I gotta cook it tonight, and I gotta do the radio show, and yeah, no, I'm gonna do this. It's already cooked. I already got that 20 minutes out of the way.
Yeah, but yeah, it's only 20 minutes to cook a lobster.
I know, but that's
well, no, actually, it's half an hour to get the water boiling, and then 20 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. So I just bought a cooked one, and I brought it home, and I shelled it all out, and I just made a lobster sandwich with it.
Awesome.
And my sandwich was so fucking thick that it was delicious. And now I'm rolling a joint.
I'm going to make toasted lobster rolls on my grill.
You got to tell me when you're doing that. So I'm coming out.
I'm not a lobster fan at all.
No?
Nope, not at all.
I fucking love it, but I don't buy it often because it's so fucking expensive.
Yeah, but when we were kids, that was poor people food.
Yeah,
rich people had bologna.
Yeah, I fished them for 4 years and ate them every day when I fished them, and I fucking hated them.
I spent 5 years working on a lobster boat in the summers. I don't like lobster.
Catch them sucked ass, but
what was I doing?
More fun to catch them when you're scuba diving. It's a little more challenge.
Yeah, it is.
So Mary Jane won't be here today.
Oh.
And I don't know where Lennie is.
Well, where's Mary Jane off to? Camping again?
I don't know. Last weekend was Camp Canna.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing this weekend. Probably Timmy related stuff.
She should have come on the show from Camp Canna.
Yeah.
Or are they allowed?
I don't know the deal there.
Yeah.
Al and I have talked to the Camp Canna people.
Yeah.
Doing stuff for one of the shows. I can't remember which one.
Pace or something.
No, one of the event thingies.
Oh, okay.
Right. Like the week that I went down to the city, I got there on the Thursday evening, and everything Grow Up was all finished. Rick was there. Rick Simpson was piped in via the computer.
I was going to say Rick wasn't there.
No, he wasn't. The way they build it felt like he was going to be there.
Yeah, of course.
But he was they had him up on a screen in a room, and I haven't talked to Sherry Ann in a bit, so I don't really know if she got to talk to him yet or not.
Wow.
Hey, Marcel?
Yep.
I got something to talk about. Well, something for you to talk about tonight.
Is it about other people? I'm really good at
cannabis.
that. Oh, well, I kind of good at that, but
terpenes, are they in the plant material or are they just in your trichome head?
they're everywhere.
They're
Everywhere. They're everywhere.
Terpenes are not just in cannabis plants.
Nope.
So
No, I know that, but in the cannabis plant.
In the cannabis plants, they're going to be in the leaves, they're going to be in the stalk, they're going to be in the fiber. Anywhere that's got a taste and a smell is basically going to be terpenes. So chew on the stalk and tell me if you taste something. Yeah, it's terpenes.
Woody, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the trichome head itself,
Yeah, there would be limited numbers of terpenes. Yes.
well, I was going to say, because I know there's got to be terpenes in them, because.
But remember, when you make oil, you get a lot less terpenes. You have a lot less terpenes than you do from flour.
Yeah.
Doesn't it burn up when you're boiling?
Yes, because they're very volatile and they vaporize at low temperatures.
Yeah.
But yeah, all plants have terpenes.
I think
I knew all plants have terpenes.
It's more than just plants that have terpenes.
Yeah. But I was just sitting here tonight thinking, I said, okay, well, I know there's terpenes in the head, but is there a shit ton in the flower, like in the plant material itself?
Yes.
So where would you find the bulk of your your terpenes that give your cannabis its flavor? Are they in your flower? Or are they in?
I would imagine that the bulk would be in the vegetated matter itself.
Okay.
Right. It's like a lot of the terpenes that you buy to make your weed taste better doesn't come from cannabis.
And they also add a lot of terpenes into these cartridges and
of course they do,
shatters and stuff like that.
Right, but those terpenes don't come from cannabis.
No, they don't.
No, because
they come from the plant that has that terpene, right?
Right. You look at a good strain of cannabis on a lab test. A good strain of cannabis, total terpenes 5%.
I think the only reason that people are talking about terpenes in Canada these days is because legal growers going through the system here, the legal system, are listing the terpenes now on their packaging.
Okay,
which creates more. All that does is create more interest.
It's not even so much interest.
Well, it's a sales tactic.
Well, yeah, they're using it as a sales tactic because somebody told these people that terpenes means that's where all the really good smell comes from. But shitty terpenes can smell bad, right? So terpenes have an advantage because terpenes act as precursors, all right, in a lot of cases. So they'll activate the CB1s and the CB2 receptors.
Okay.
Which open them up to allow the cannabis to be absorbed and used and utilized, right? So that's an advantage of terpenes.
I was just going to ask that, Dale. I was just going to ask, like limonene, what is the most prominent place that you get limonene? Because that's a big terpene that people like.
Right. Mangoes and mangoes are very high.
In Marcel.
Myrcene. And so if you eat a mango about 30 to 40 minutes before you decide to indulge in your cannabis, because it's opened up the receptors.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's waiting. So you kind of need something to open the receptors. Like the receptors are always sitting there, but they're not really actively absorbing cannabinoids.
So that's why that's not a myth that mangoes will enhance your buzz. It's really not. I've tried it. It's not a myth.
No, it's very true.
It's true.
Right? But so will an antihistamine.
Okay. Right, that will too.
Right? So
it opens up your airways, right?
Right. And antihistamine will also increase your buzz.
Will it?
If that's what you're looking for.
What time does the drugstore close at? I'll be right back.
Does drugstore close?
Yeah. Just kidding.
Well, Len closed at 5, so.
So while we're sitting here staring at the wind, let's talk about Marcel's
Staring at my
setup,
garden.
what he's doing in his garden.
I'm actually sitting here looking at it. So it's right out my window.
Well, my greenhouse is right out my window. I'm sitting there looking at it too.
I'm just staring at you two. Well, you, Al, anyways.
Yeah.
Darcy's admiring my garden.
Now, is this where you had it before? Because you had a fenced-in area, or you still have that as well?
Last year was the first year there.
That's what?
Last year was your first year there, wasn't it, Marcel?
Yeah, last year I built it. It was
you had a fenced-in area for years that you've been showing.
Always, I've always had a fenced-in area.
Yeah.
So, I had where the garden is now is just down a bit from where it was previously.
Okay.
Before I moved it up close to the house, and then I outgrew that one that was close to the house because it was really too small to begin with. So I decided, screw it, I'll make a big one. And I had to get rid of blackberries because they were taking over my entire backyard. So I mowed down all my blackberries.
Ooh.
And the other bonus of him putting it down there is he gets a lot more wind, so you get less chance of powder mildew.
Yeah.
I get more wind and more sun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the blackberries, of course, don't die because they're just fucking miserable bitches from hell. So I still have.
That's what you see around the edge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those bushes are all blackberries, right?
Yeah. Well, they're cut back a bit. Those are just other weeds that are growing up. But
Marcel
what I did is
he's going to pick me. He's going to pick me a gallon of them this summer.
No, he's not. He's not picking any of them this year.
Marcel.
I still got frozen ones from 2 years ago, for Christ's sake.
My rhubarb is up about 1.5 foot already, and I mowed everything down in the spring, and then so I've got fresh raspberry bushes starting up. But the bears always get to them before me. So
yeah,
which I have not seen yet.
So what I did is I laid down black plastic last year.
Yep.
To kill everything, or attempt to kill everything.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Built my fenced-in area, and then this year I laid down greenhouse flooring and covered it all, and then extended it to 2.5 feet outside, all the way around the perimeter.
I have a question.
I won't have any weeds.
If I have a section of the poly downstairs for the grow room.
Yeah.
I have a section that would actually fit on the floor of the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Black or white?
Inside the greenhouse?
Yes, on the floor.
White.
That's what I thought. Now, would that be a waste of time using that?
No, because it's going to keep weeds from fucking growing there.
No, but I have the fabric stuff.
Okay, so the advantage with the fabric stuff is if you spill water, it's going to drain through.
And with the other, it won't. So I'll use the fabric.
Plastic. It won't drain through.
Yeah, I'll use the fabric stuff there.
Right? So
I am going to use the plastic for the floor in the basement. So
I covered my garden in plastic last year, black plastic, just to kill everything under it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm gonna go in tomorrow morning and weed whack everything that's grown. I've already weed whacked it once. I gotta put the stuff down. I think I'll just use the felt stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
any of your autoflowers come up, Al? Your candy cane?
No, none.
I started 10 seeds,
they started when I left.
Yeah.
They were just popping up. When I got back, only 2 came up.
Yeah, well, I planted 10 seeds out there in a big pot, and I got 5 to pop up so far. So,
cool. Well, Dean, I took some of the purple satellite over to Dean,
Yeah.
And 4 of them came up. So
Right on.
we mixed some dirt today, and I took a couple buckets over there for his babies.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping that they will. He's got no starter light though, so we're trying to figure that out tomorrow. Right. For now, they're in a bucket of soil, 4 of them separate, and they're going inside during the day or at night, and coming out on the balcony or the porch during the day, if it's nice. I mean, last night it was only 1 here.
Yeah, it's supposed to get down to 4 for us tonight.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be another couple of weeks, I think, before I can put out. But you know what? Isn't the general rule of thumb July 1st? No.
After the
for us, it's after the first full moon,
which was last week.
Or sorry, after the last full moon of June,
which was last week.
Yeah. No, was last night.
Yeah, because when I woke up at 2:00 this morning.
No, it was last night was the 3rd night. It was actually 2 nights ago.
Yeah, well, when I woke up last night, my curtain
it looks full, but it's not. You got your night before, you got your night after, and then you got your full in the summer. But the energy's still the same. That's why people go cuckoo.
Yeah, well, it was still right pink too.
I know. I saw it this morning. When I wake up, it's sitting in my living room window, so I get to see it in the morning. And I don't usually go out to look at night unless I'm sitting out there. So, and haven't done that yet. It's too fucking cold, man.
Yeah, it's chilly out there, Al.
Why do I have 2 Facebook pages open?
Good question.
I don't know why.
I usually have 2 open.
I don't know why. I had it on all 3 computers at one time.
One I use for trolling.
Well, I have it open.
Hang on, I was going to change my picture.
Oh, excuse my squeaky chair.
Squeaky chair.
I had a creamsicle before the show, and it's not sitting right. Maybe I had a bad creamsicle.
1 sec here. I'm going to shut my bedroom door. My dog's just starting to get in a crazy mood. You better settle down there, fella.
This is your new puppy?
Oh, yeah. She's something.
I've sent her that.
I thank Marcel every day.
Was a Mastiff as well?
No, she's 3/4 pit bull and 1/4 lab.
Ooh, that's almost as bad as Rosa.
Oh my God, all she wants to do is play all day.
How old?
16 months old now. So almost a year and a half.
Got about a dozen years to go.
Oh, I know. Every morning, boy, once Carla gets out of bed, she's right up in the bed.
So this is your drip system, Marcel?
That is my outdoor hydroponic.
Now, what's the balls?
Clay, expanding clay.
Clay pellets.
Instead of
they're just clay balls
that sits on the top.
Yep. Well, you can add them in through the soil if you want, but I never do. I put them on the top and I can take them off. Pardon me?
Or bottom to top. What are the layers?
Bottom layer is black earth, just to lock in moisture. Then a layer of peat to buffer between the black earth and the cocoa. And then it's a really big, thick layer of cocoa with an amendment agent into it to give it a little bacteria before the plants went out. And perlite. And
you added more perlite.
I added perlite because the cocoa doesn't have perlite, but they say the cocoa doesn't need perlite.
I added it anyway.
I'm not taking that chance.
I didn't use it last year, and I noticed that my plants I find with the perlite it holds. It sounds crazy, but I found it holds a little better. Holds way better at water retention.
Right. Because it makes little pockets, I think.
Yeah. Well, I find you don't have to water your plants near as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, them clay pellets. I had 3 bags of them sitting in my garage, and I was like, I wonder if Marcel could use them.
Cool.
Because I put them on the top of my soil too, right?
I had 4.
Well, how many bags of that shit would you need for your whole thing, Marcel?
4.
I used 4 bags.
That's it.
Yeah, it was 4 bags I gave you, wasn't it, Marcel?
Yep, but the bags are like fucking 50 or 100 pounds apiece.
Oh yeah, they're big.
They're big bags.
Oh yeah, they're big bags.
And then when you're done, you can go get McDonald's straws and use them as peas.
Well, no, when they're done, I can actually collect them all up and save them for next year.
Sit across the street from Darcy's and go.
Because
don't worry. My last 2 yards I lived at, which I only lived at 3 places in term my whole life, but the last 2 yards I lived at, those are in the ground forever now.
Yeah. So that's why I don't put them in the soil. I just scoop them off the top. I'll sift out the cocoa, keep the balls. The balls are fine. And then I can just turf the cocoa.
So all it is just little balls of clay.
Little balls of clay.
With a little bit of lava on the inside.
Yeah.
Because when you break them open, they're blacker than the 8 of spades.
You step on them. I honestly think they're lava balls that have been coated in clay.
Yeah.
But because if you step on them, they'll crush into powder.
Yeah, and don't let your dog eat one.
No.
Especially when you got a lab. She eats fucking everything.
Eats everything.
I thank Marcel every day.
But those plants have 2 drippers per big pot for like the 100 or the 200-liter pots. Has the dual drippers, and then every plant has a sprayer over the top that sprays down on them. And if everything's turned on, it'll put out about 40 gallons an hour.
Wow.
Which is perfect.
Yeah. Because that works out to about 2 gallons per plant.
I figure when they're full grown, those things will suck, especially in purple satellites. I know fucking big them cocksuckers get now.
Yep.
Especially when they get big bud on them, because they suck a lot of water and they can take a lot of food. They're a plant that can take a lot of food.
They're taking a lot of food right now, whether they want it or not.
Mine are being fed right now between 1 point. My bigger ones, my little clones I just planted a week ago, but my bigger ones that are all, I don't know, 18 inches to 3 feet tall, they're all getting an EC of 2.
I mix mine up as an EC of 3, and I'm doing top feeding right now.
Top feeding.
Yeah. 1 liter at a time.
Yeah. Well, see, them big, you got to remember too, Al, he can feed them a little heavier because them big pots will take a lot of that feed to get charged, right? Even though we already pre-charged them, it'll still take a lot to feed them.
Okay.
And it'll make your roots run towards the feed. So push the roots up to the side of the pots.
What I did initially is when I set it up, I filled up my reservoir with 80 gallons of nutrients, and I fed 20 gallons to the plants through the drippers. But the drippers were set out further away from the plant to try and charge the outside of the pots. And then now they get fed directly at the plant manually. And then they get water through the drip system and the spray system.
Okay. Well, it looks like an interesting project.
Well, it's It's a test to see if I can pull off a grow in this old farmland without getting stalk borers.
Without getting what?
Stalk borers.
And breaking your back all fucking summer from lugging fucking water.
Yeah, too.
Oh.
But stalk borers are these wonderful little worms that people find in their core.
Oh, we were talking about that last week. That crawl
Right.
inside the shaft.
They go into hollow stalk plants.
Yeah.
Gotta hate it when it's in your shaft, Al.
I've had that happen.
Guess what, Rex? Guess what blackberries are? A hollow stalk plant.
Ah, so they're coming from the blackberries.
Guess what oats are? A hollow stalk plant.
And they're coming from the oats.
Right? And this was farmland. So very fertile soil, and they're a pain in the ass, but if this works, then I'll have a solution for the situation, and until I can find a poison that I can just poison everything around them.
And then 10:30 at night phone calls make payoff that Darcy makes to you. Because I remember talking to you about this in one of them phone calls.
Yeah.
At 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
Jesus, don't fucking call me at 10:30 at night. I'll fucking yell at you.
I know Marcel usually. I usually don't call him after 9, but I know usually he doesn't go to bed until 11.
I remember one morning. It was about 5:30 in the morning, and I pocket dialed Tim Barnhart.
Oh God!
I was like, "Sorry, Tim."
Yeah, sorry, wake you up.
I pocket dialed a few people. All right, so I'm going to let you guys choose what I'm going to have. I've already had some grape escape. We don't need any more of that. I've already had some green crack. I've got black tuna. Let's see what else we got here. We got trophy wife. And cherry dragon.
Try your cherry dragon.
I was just going to say, I think I'm going to try the cherry dragon. The
Because
cherry dragon.
Your black tuna, the tuna strains I find they're all similar except for the ahi tuna strain. It's a little different. It's a little more cushier than the rest of them. But I find most tunas are cushy.
What?
Well, yeah, they make me sleepy too.
Yeah, that's it.
I've been smoking that at night.
Marcel loves them.
I've been waking up with the grape escape. And
I'm a haze person. Sorry.
Yeah, I like my cushions at night, and in the daytime I like my hybrids.
During the daytime I like hybrids. I usually get an up, a middle, and a down. So I got my day covered.
I don't fuck with too many sativas because the ones that I had, the ones that I did like, I can't find anymore. I just can't find seeds of them anymore. And the ones that are still out there that I do like, as today I looked at some Super Silver Haze, and it was fucking kush all the way. You couldn't fucking tell. You couldn't tell me that was Super Silver Haze.
I've had
Super Silver Haze.
I've had that before.
I bet.
Oh no, the bud was some purple. That Super Silver Haze should have been lime green.
Yep. And silver.
Yeah, and lime green, not dark green and purple.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna pass on the Super Silver today because that's cushed all the way home, dude.
The problem is the industry's become so bastardized by pollen chuckers.
Yeah.
Really, that it doesn't really fucking matter anymore. I don't think there's any true indica strains out there, and I don't think there's any true sativa strains left out there, unless they're true landrace that you can find growing in the fucking wild somewhere.
The ones that Todd McCormick and Mel Frank and fucking your buddy have Charles Scott, Marcel, those are all still true landrace because those are the only people that are taking the time to keep them alive.
Well, yeah.
Right? Because the ones that Charles Scott, Charles's Durban Poison is Durban Poison.
Is Durban. Yeah.
His Colombian he has is Colombian.
Derbian.
Right? Because he's taking the time to keep these originals alive, but he's also using them to cross with some of the new school strains.
Yep.
Right? Because I can get Wedding Cake crossed with original Haze. Because that's one of the Mel Frank Todd McCormick strains.
See, I'll tell you how you, in all honesty, the easiest way to tell if you've got a true landrace Durban poison is when it hits 12 feet.
Yep. The fucking thing will go right through the roof.
Yep.
Oh, that's a tall one, is it?
Oh, is it ever? I was standing
on
on the top of a 6-foot ladder, like on the top part where it says not a step. I was standing up on top of that.
Do not stand
try
here.
And get to the top of the bud, or like the top of the cola.
Cool.
I had two growing here in my yard last year, Al. Well, I had the one that Dale gave me, which is Durban, and I had the ones that I had from year 2000. They were from Dutch Passion, and two totally different fucking Durbans, totally different phenotypes. One was massive, and the other one grew about 6 feet, but the buds on it were the size of mason jars, and they weren't tight. They were wispy like a sativa bud should be. So,
that's
the other thing that gets me.
Mm-hmm.
Is these people pushing out these tight, hard-ass nuggets and calling them sativas, 100% sativas. I
mean, you can do it with some of these fucking growth regulators they have out there today, but
I don't want those.
No, me neither. Me neither.
But that's all the growth regulators are for, is to make the bud look nice. It does nothing for the bud other than make it look pretty.
Rock hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, guys, I have a song that we are allowed to play because this song is from one of our shows, the Dr. High. And we're going to play this song, and then we're going to come back, and we'll continue our conversation. I think Marcel got a video.
Yep. And
Darcy will have his grow stuff. As the 420 radio show will be right back.
Is the grow stuff going to be Al learning how to mix nutrients?
Maybe. Possibly.
Yeah.
I think Al should be due.
Good.
Doctor said the road was dark and long. Treatments came, but nothing felt strong. In the quiet, I searched for a sign. Found a name that lit up my mind. Rick Simpson's tale of healing and fight. A humble man bringing shadows to light. From the earth, an oil so pure. Whispers of a natural cure. RSO saved me, lifted me high, brought back the stars to my weary sky. From the depths I rose anew, grateful for the gift of this healing dew.
Each drop a promise, each day a song. Felt my body growing strong. Nausea faded, appetite returned. In the gentle glow, my spirit burned. Skeptics question, but I believe in nature's arms. I was relieved. Rick's own journey paved the way for souls like mine to find our day. RSO saved me, lifted me high, brought back the stars to my weary skies. From the depths I rose anew, grateful for the gift of this healing dew. Now I share this story of mine, hoping others see the sign in the leaves. A chance maybe for healing, hope, and harmony. RSO saved me, lifted me high, brought back the stars to my weary sky.
Where did we go? There we are. I found us. Hello.
I'm here.
Uh-oh. There we go. That was Dr. High. You can listen to Dr. High every Thursday at 10 p.m. on 420pace.ca. Okay.
Actually a cute song.
I really liked it, and I got a couple more things to play, and we'll be right back.
Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.
Hi, I'm Timmy.
And I'm Mary Jane. He's the newbie.
She's the doobie. And this is the show
where we
tote
cannabis.
Talk.
From both sides.
Is that even possible?
What are you giggling at? I come back to dead air.
Dead air. Yeah.
Dead air.
Yeah.
I had a tip for people.
It is Friday the 13th today. Happy Friday the 13th. Everybody is at Port Elgin. Port Elgin?
What?
Is that where they go? Port Elgin? Yeah.
Who?
Bikers.
Why?
They go. Is it Port Elgin? I think it's Port Elgin. There's a big festival every Friday the 13th. The bikers all go and just cram into a little town. I think it's Port Elgin.
I don't know. Somebody sent me a message saying that the Surrey police were advising that 700 bikers were heading to Surrey.
Well, that's for Friday the 13th.
Cool.
Yeah. And they're probably heading down to Port Elgin, is where they're probably heading down to.
Probably. Well, I hope they have fun.
Because I mean, it's a day that all the bikers go. It doesn't matter what kind of patch you're wearing. Everybody goes and has a good time. I'm sure there's not so good times too, but you know, it's supposed to be pretty wild. I've never been, so yeah. But it's also Freddy Krueger and Jason, and Jason was Friday the 13th, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Jason Voorhees.
Flores.
I'm waiting to see. They're still working on the TV show Crystal Lake.
Oh yeah.
I have not found it when it's going to be on, if it's on, blah blah blah. But I'm looking forward to seeing that when it comes out. I like that series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Elm Street. Although, up until maybe 5 years ago, I didn't sleep on a bed that was off the floor. Seriously. Well, I never bought that kind of frame, so it just never happened. But yeah. Anyway, so what are we doing next? Do we want to do your video? Do we want to?
Sure. I'm just looking up this one prequel series.
2 + 2 is 4. 4 × 4 is 5.
Yeah, it doesn't give much information on it. On your Crystal Lake.
Oh yeah, I can't find anything. Like I enjoyed the whole what did they call it? Bates Motel one, the TV show. What was that called? They did it out in Vancouver in a small town, and they basically humanized that whole family, including Norman, as a child. Did you ever see that? What was that called?
I don't know, but you can look this show up as under a different name.
What, Crystal Lake?
Yep.
As what?
Mama's Boy.
And is that what it's being in production as?
It's also known as Crystal Lake. So in different countries, it's pretty much all Crystal Lake. In the U.S., it's the working title is Mama's Boy.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's more about Mama and Jason as a youngster than anything.
Yeah, it's the prequel.
Yeah, how he became the monster. Yeah. Just like they did with Norman Bates in that show that I can't remember the name. They humanize him, right?
Yeah, you're not going to find it anywhere because it's still in production.
Yeah, I didn't think
actually
it was
not in production. It's in pre-production.
So it's not even. They haven't even started it yet.
Nope.
Yeah, that sounds like it's never going to happen to me.
Yeah.
So Darcy
might be one of those things.
So Al,
you ready?
Well, no.
Oh,
we were going to do a video first.
Oh, do your video. Okay, here's your video. Make it full.
Let me get over there. Gotta find it. I'm full. Do you let me play?
You wanna give us a prelude?
This is another in video. Using AI to make me a video because I'm too fucking lazy. And this one is unlocking the secrets of the endocannabinoid system and the entourage effect.
Let's see if it lies this time.
The human body is a remarkably complex network. It contains many systems working together. For centuries, we have studied systems like the circulatory or nervous systems. However, one crucial system remained hidden until relatively recently. This system is the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. Its discovery has opened new doors. It helps us understand health and disease in profound ways. The journey to uncover the ECS began unexpectedly. Scientists were researching the cannabis plant. They wanted to understand how its compounds affected the body. Specifically, they studied tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC. In the 1960s, Professor Raphael McCoolum and his team first isolated and synthesized THC. This was a landmark achievement in cannabinoid research. Their work laid the foundation for understanding cannabis. Scientists wondered why THC had such specific effects. They hypothesized that the body must have receptors for it. This led to the identification of cannabinoid receptors in the late 1980s. The discovery of the ECS was a revelation. It showed that our bodies have an internal signaling system. The endocannabinoid system has several key components. These components work together like a sophisticated communication network. Think of them as locks and keys. The receptors are the locks. The endocannabinoids are the keys that fit these locks. When a key fits a lock, it triggers a response. This response helps to keep a particular bodily function in balance. There are also enzymes. These enzymes build and break down the endocannabinoids. This intricate system ensures precise control. Our bodies produce endocannabinoids as needed. They are not stored for later use. Two primary endocannabinoids have been extensively studied. The first is anandamide, named after the Sanskrit word for bliss. It was discovered in 1992. Anandamide plays roles in mood, memory, and appetite. The second major endocannabinoid is 2-arachidonyl glycerol, or 2-AG. It is found in higher concentrations in the brain than anandamide. 2-AG is involved in pain perception, inflammation, and immune function. The cannabinoid receptors are found on cell surfaces. There are two main types, CB1 and CB2 receptors. CB1 receptors are predominantly located in the brain and central nervous system. The cannabis plant is remarkably complex. It produces hundreds of different chemical compounds. The most well-known are cannabinoids like THC and cannabidiol, CBD. However, cannabis also contains many other substances. These include terpenes, which are aromatic compounds. Flavonoids, which provide color and have antioxidant properties, are also present. For a long time, research focused on isolated cannabinoids. THC was studied for its psychoactive effects. CBD was investigated for its non-psychoactive therapeutic potential. But this approach might miss a crucial aspect of cannabis. The entourage effect is a theory. It suggests that cannabis compounds work better together. They act in synergy like musicians in an orchestra. The combined effect is greater than the sum of its individual parts. This means that the therapeutic benefits of whole plant cannabis may be superior. They might be more effective than using isolated compounds alone. The various molecules in cannabis can interact with each other. They can also interact with our endocannabinoid system in complex ways. Section 4. Synergy in action, real-world examples of whole plant power. The entourage effect is not just a theoretical concept. There is growing evidence suggesting it is a real phenomenon. Its manifestations can be varied. For instance, some compounds might enhance the therapeutic actions of primary cannabinoids. Other compounds might mitigate potential adverse effects. This means that a full-spectrum cannabis product could provide greater relief. It might also be better tolerated than a single, isolated cannabinoid. This has significant implications for patients seeking relief from various conditions. One widely discussed example of the entourage effect involves THC and CBD. THC is known for its psychoactive effects. These can include anxiety or paranoia in some individuals. CBD, on the other hand, is non-psychoactive. Studies suggest that CBD can counteract some of THC's less desirable effects. When present together in cannabis, CBD may reduce the intensity of THC's psychoactivity. It might lessen anxiety and improve the overall experience. This allows patients to potentially benefit from THC's therapeutic properties. This includes pain relief with fewer negative side effects. Terpenes also play a crucial role in the entourage effect. These aromatic compounds give different cannabis strains their unique smells and tastes. Section 5. The future is collaborative, advancing ECS and entourage research. Our understanding of the endocannabinoid system and the entourage effect is still developing. These areas represent exciting frontiers in medical science. While we have learned much, there is still a vast amount to discover. The ECS is involved in so many physiological processes. This suggests it holds immense potential for new therapeutic interventions. Similarly, the entourage effect challenges us to think beyond single molecules. It encourages a more holistic approach to plant-based medicine. Continued research is absolutely vital. The potential therapeutic applications are wide-ranging. Modulating the ECS could help treat numerous conditions. These include chronic pain, inflammation, anxiety disorders, and epilepsy. It might also help with neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. The entourage effect is particularly relevant here. Tailoring cannabis-based medicines with specific cannabinoid and terpene profiles could offer more effective and personalized treatments. This could lead to therapies with better efficacy. They might also have fewer side effects than current options for many patients. However, research in this field faces several challenges. Cannabis is a complex plant. It contains hundreds of active compounds. Studying their interactions is a difficult task.
And there you have it.
And you know what? It's not Port Elgin, it's Port Dover.
Okay.
Yeah. Port Dover. Where'd we go?
So, was that arguable?
I'd say it was from what I know.
Informative, educational.
Yes.
There's, to me, we've seen it. Like the ones that use cannabis have seen the difference between people that use isolates and distillates and people that use whole plant. And I'll tell you, it's night and day. I think breaking it down into individual compounds in an effort to make more money just makes you suck as an individual. Because that's all it boils down to. Oh, we have 100% pure THC. It's fucking useless. As a medicine, smoke it. That's about all it's good for. Right? Because it doesn't even do that well for you because most of the distillate you get is Delta 8.
Now, okay, you remember a few months ago, Marijane had some Delta 9, those gummies.
Yeah.
I have them now.
Yeah. They good? Do they work?
Do they work is the question.
Right.
I've taken them in the morning and I've had a reasonably good day. You know, they help a little bit with the pain.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still smoking the same amount. So how do I really know? You know what I mean?
If they were really working, you'd end up smoking less. And I'll tell you how I know that is when we did our second clinical trial.
Your caps.
Yeah, we wanted to compare, and it was just a whole plant formulation. So how we did the trial is everybody that went on the trial agreed that they would not ingest any cannabis products other than what we supplied them, but they could smoke everything that they wanted. They just had to record it.
I didn't get that.
Because you weren't on that trial.
Oh, okay.
And what happened was within 3 days,
you noticed
the amount being smoked decreased.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, when I shroom, I smoke less.
Yeah, because
considerably.
Believe it or not, shrooms actually do help with chronic pain, right? But for most people,
when I have a behind the eyeball headache, that's usually what I do. If I don't have any, I don't like taking Tylenol and ibuprofen and all that shit. So I will try that first. Although before I went to Toronto, I had one so bad I had to get like decongestants and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Right.
But
yeah, they help my headaches as well and pain.
Yeah. Yeah, psilocybin's got some analgesic abilities to it, and it's very likely it's just shutting off part of the nerve center.
Well, yeah, short circuit stuff.
Yeah, which is fine, but cannabis is a little different because cannabis, for somebody to notice medicinal effects from cannabis right away is pain. But not everybody
that's the
has
first thing
pain.
I notice in the morning when I've been smoking some Grape Escape. The pain goes away instantly. When I wake up, my feet are burning, my knees are hurting. I can barely walk to the bathroom. I come out. I smoke probably 4 or 5 doobies before I even wake up.
Now, see, what I would suggest for you is to eat cannabis before you go to bed. That way, when you wake up, you can get up and move your feet.
Okay, so eat in what form? Anyway, like cookies, whatever?
A whole plant, eat cookies, eat gummies, eat fucking gobble oil if you have
Okay,
to.
well, I would have had cookies for tonight if they had them, because I usually get the ready mix stuff. I like the Betty Crocker products.
Right. Ingesting cannabis before you go to sleep provides you with a couple cool things. One is a good night's sleep.
Okay.
And the second one is when you wake up in the morning, you should be relatively pain-free enough to be able to function well to get ready to start your day.
Yeah, my day doesn't start until noon because of my pain.
Right. So take this before you go to bed.
Okay.
Try and fall asleep before it even fucking kicks in.
That's usually what I do, Al. So what I do is
would the Delta 9 things help?
Pardon me?
Would the Delta 9 caps help? Having one before bed?
Not going to hurt you.
But it's not going to do the same thing as an RSO or something like that?
Well, it's not whole plant. Remember that, right?
Not at all.
Okay, that's just Delta 9, isn't it?
Yep.
See, what I do is I eat 2 of Marcel's gummies I have here now, which are 50 milligram gummies. So I'm eating 100 milligrams of whole plant oil, and I find I was having a hard time sleeping. So now I take 12 milligram CBN capsule, because a friend gave me some CBN capsules to try, the legal market ones, but it's from a medical company. That's all they deal with. It's just medical patients. You can't find their products in the liquor store. You got to deal directly with the
product.
What's that, Marcel?
It's a distillate, but all he's doing is taking a distillate product and literally combining it with the whole plant that he's already consuming.
To get more CBN.
Right? To get a higher amount of CBN that knocks him out. Probably makes his legs immobile.
That's what it does. It makes me so my legs don't jump in the middle of the night when I fall asleep.
But you see, I get when I have really high stuff, especially oil at night or hash, my restless leg starts.
Yeah, but you're smoking it. It's different.
Okay.
Ingested is really different. Yeah.
All right.
Ingesting is not the same as smoking.
Well, I'll be making cookies and we'll see.
And you don't have to ingest near as much as people let on that they do. And I only say that because the people that are letting on that they do are ingesting distillates. So there's people out there that are doing these Hero 1,000 milligram gummies that are supposed to be 1,000 milligrams of THC, and they very well could be of distillate. But I'll tell you, it doesn't hit you the same.
No, it don't. Gives me a headache.
Gives me a headache. It gets me high for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so. And then I come down hard off it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that part. But if I make a gummy with 1,000 milligrams of THC using whole plant oil, so like almost 1.5 grams of oil per one gummy, and eat that, I'm fucked for a week. Now, for me, probably 2 days. Anybody else, yeah, you'd probably be calling the hospital.
Well, I ate a 500 milligram one that Marcel made, and let's just say I was high as fuck.
I don't like being high like that.
I don't either.
Either.
I start shivering. I get so high. When I get really high like that, I start shivering and shaking.
The bed moves.
The problem is these gummies that when they're made with a distillate, yeah, okay, some people might get high for 2 or 3 hours off of this. You take 1,000 milligram whole plant gummy and eat that.
No, I know.
You're too high.
At the 8 hour mark, you're wondering when you're going to start coming down.
And that's what I hate, because I wake up and I'm still high, and I go back to sleep, and I wake up and it's like 16 hours later, and you're still high. And you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, is this ever going to go away?
I'm going to come out with a new product and just call them roulette. It'll be four different gummies.
Take your chances.
Yep. Could be 5 milligrams. Could be 500 milligrams.
Ooh, I feel bad. That's 500.
You fucking imagine. So I'll go back to medically. A new user ingesting cannabis will feel the effects as low as 3 milligrams. 10 milligrams is enough to get most people a good buzz. And that's why Health Canada implemented 10 milligrams.
I know people.
But that's when you're using a whole plant cannabis. All right. So
They don't tell you that part.
No. Distillates, because it's just THC and you don't have that synergistic effect of the entourage effect, right? You end up getting a piece of a puzzle that isn't adequate. So it's such a big difference. So this is why these rec market, black market, gray market, whatever market you want to call it, are putting out products that are, 1,000 milligrams per dose type thing. And it's because they're using distillates. Remember, there's no taste or very little taste to most distillates. So they can put massive amount in. Because it's coming usually offshore, it's cheap as hell.
A lot of the distillate pens have a lot of terpenes added to them.
Well, that's fine. Terpenes are expensive though, man.
You get that flavor. That's probably what you're being charged for.
Yeah. Yeah, more likely. I mean, but terpenes, the amount of terpenes you need, the flavor is small.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, really small.
So it's cost effective.
Yeah, you might use a milliliter to, 1 milliliter to 500 milliliters. Gives you a nice pile of terpene. Because you would never use it just concentrate. Oh, man. But does it really? I mean, what are the terpenes there for?
Flavor.
That's it, right? I mean, that's the only reason they're putting terpenes in, because they don't care about what the terpenes actually do.
Well,
they're just going for the terpenes for the flavors.
As I always say, they put terpene in to cover up the fucking taste of shitty distillate.
Do terpenes have any medicinal value?
Do terpenes do, only by acting as antagonists on the CB1 and CB2 receptors.
So yes, but no.
Yes, but no.
Okay. Huh.
It's that lock and key thing again now.
Yeah. It just think of it as like a big puzzle, right? And all the pieces to see the picture, all the pieces have to fit together. If you take some of the pieces away, then you'll never complete the puzzle.
See, before I met Marcel, I wasn't educated. I was educated, but not educated enough to know. And I was eating massive amounts of flour in capsules. And then Marcel come along and said, "You're not a fucking cow." He did. He literally told me, "You're not a fucking cow. Why are you eating? Why you eating flour for?" He said, "Just use oil capsules."
I did that at a meeting with Health Canada, and I threw a bag of pot on the table and said, "You say ingestion's the best way. Tell me how I'm supposed to eat this shit."
I have a question. Is my video stopped?
Yeah, I can't see Al.
All right, I will be right back. How about Marcel? If you wouldn't mind putting on the number 5, the Happle thing.
Oh, I got to figure out how to do that now.
Go into media assets, down to video clips. I got to restart my thing.
I don't have media assets here.
Oh, yeah, you should.
No, I've got
this, guys, is a BT bottle with a little straw on the end of it. Okay. Back in the day, we used to have glass bottles, soda pops in glass bottles. Okay, soft drinks. And this was built for the old school hash. This is the hash that your uncles and your grandparents would get. And this is the stuff that we would all treasure whenever we could get it, because we thought it was the best stuff, because it's the constant. It was our form of concentrate.
Correct.
Right? When we were young, right?
Yes.
This
To answer your question now.
Oh, here we go.
Forward.
Now you're going to cut this out if it doesn't work, right?
You just cut it out now. These are the 3 tools I use to form and shape the happiness.
So now once the prep work is done over on the lathe, it now has to come over to me to put the mouthpiece on and finish off the top part. So first up, I just need to clean up and close off the top that's left over. First thing I'll do is I will heat up the corner and I'll push in the Maria, which is the circular lump that acts as a stopper. Right? Whereas I'm kind of like, I'm 49 years old, but I don't have time to be an artist.
You know, each one is individual, though. There's only one of each. So it does make it art.
Oh, stop it. Okay.
I'm back.
Welcome back. I'm doing some quick math here.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, I made a new batch of ice cream. I don't know how much is in it.
Well, while you're doing that, Al, you can start my intro, and then I can talk about my grow segment.
Oh. Dokily.
This is how we grow the weed.
First off, I got to say, me on that scooter rocking up and down. If I was really on a scooter rocking up and down like that, I'd like to be on my fucking ass.
And I would likely be laughing my ass off.
So I wanted to talk a little bit tonight, since Al wants to talk a little bit about nutrients. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to start out feeding your little baby plants up to the start of your veg, because that's where we're getting to right now. So at first, you know, you're going to select your, select a nutrient. First off, you're going to either select a salt-based nutrient, which is a lot of your different ones that you have out on the market, or you can select yourself or an organic-based nutrient, which there's a bunch of them out on the market. Canna has both. GrowTech has both. Green Planet has both. Most of your big lines now have an organic line, or you can use what I use, and I use a product called Floramax,
which is what I have here as well.
Yeah, which is what Marcel uses for the last 3 years. Marcel,
3 or 2?
2.
2, because I went from Psycho to.
Because you tried, we had somebody else on the show, and you tried them, and then we had.
Because he tried the Mantis, which is
Mantis. That's what it was. Yeah,
which is another good product. It really is.
I like Mantis.
I thought at one point that you said you liked Mantis better at one point, Marcel. I think.
No, what I like with Mantis is great. To me, Mantis was great for the veg. But when it come to flowering, I had to use the Mantis as well as do some amendments for the flowering.
And that's when he started using the Floramax amendments.
Because which is what I've been using. This will be my, we're going to say, first successful year.
Yeah. See, what I did on that grow is half the grow was Floramax and half the grow was Mantis.
Yeah.
During destroying veg.
I remember
the plants were almost identical
when
they went into flower.
Hmm.
But by switching the Floramax to add flower enhancer, resin XS, and all of the other good ones, the mantis wasn't keeping up.
What are you using, Dale? Are you using the Floramax or the Mantis or what?
I don't know what Dale's using. I know
Dale's going to tell us because he's listening.
Oh, yeah, we just have to wait for it.
Yeah.
But
he's laughing right now as he's typing.
I wasn't ready for that, man.
When it comes to feeding your plants at the start, you want to feed them with an EC of 0.07 or parts per million, which I don't have a meter because it's outside.
I do have a meter. I bought a meter last year and never used it.
No, Darcy said his meter's outside.
My meter's outside right now. But just give me 1 second. Actually, I'll grab my little book. It's got my chart in it.
He'll get further and further away.
Yeah, just go old school. Just dump some food on them, throw some shit there, walk away. It's a weed. It'll grow.
I've started mixing old soil with new. 1 to 1, 1 bucket of this and to about the same amount of the new stuff.
Yeah.
And it mixes up really nice. I hope it works. Oh, he's using Canna and Floramax.
Yeah. I had somebody once say that cannabis is the easiest plant to grow in the world. You can just grab a bucket of mud from your ditch.
Yeah, you come up here to where I live in Terrace Bay.
It'll grow.
It's fucking easy.
But technically it's true.
But it depends on where you are in the world because climate has a lot to do with it.
That's like anything, though. But growing pot in a bucket of dirt from the ditch, yeah, it'll grow, but you can make that bucket a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, not very successfully because I tried that when I was 14 and it didn't grow very well.
No, well, yeah, but think about things like Florida ditchweed, right? I mean, that crap would grow everywhere.
But back to your thing, Al. 0.7 and 0.8 EC is 400 parts per. It's 400 parts per million reading with a TDS meter, and it's 560 parts per million reading with an EC meter.
Way over my head, buddy.
So you have two different. So when it comes to reading ppms, you have two different ppms. You have one which is EC times 700, which is European. And then you have what we read over here in North America, which is TDS, which stands for total dissolved solids, where they read electrical conductivity, then times that by 700.
Are you reading a script?
No.
We tend to learn these things and then keep it retained so we can remember this when we're actually fluid.
Yeah, but he's being very fluid today.
That's because I'm not super fucking baked into my tree.
And it's also a subject that he's talked about a lot.
Yeah, no, I know.
But yeah, so once you get in past that seedling stage, say 3 sets of branches, then you're starting into that early veg stage. You can jack that EC up to I tend to go between 1 and 1.4 EC, which is 700 to 980, depending on what you read.
This is where Darcy and I differ because I use a TDS.
Yeah, Marcel, I always read an EC. I always read everything in EC because it's what
I read everything in parts per million.
And that's what I got used to dealing with was EC because I started using these EC meters when I was 21, when I got one for Christmas one year from my stepdad, and ever since then, I've always read EC because when I started learning more and reading books and magazines, They always read it a lot in EC. A lot of American stuff, especially out of California, they read a lot in EC, and a lot of European stuff, like out of Spain, they read a lot in EC too.
Right, but see, I learned parts per million from tropical fish.
Yeah, see, which you would have to because of the water, yeah.
Especially with salt water. And nothing was ever in EC, which, thinking about it, would make more sense, but it was always parts per million.
Yeah, so when you get to that stage of veg, which is where I'm going to stop, you want to be right around 1.4. So that's your 3 sets of branches. So you can feed that from 3 sets of branches up to about 5-6 sets of branches, and then you might want to start boosting up your nutrients a little more, just because that plant's going to start sucking a little more. So that's going to bring you to right around the middle of July. So which your plant will be eating a lot more food by then. Just remember, don't prune that plant too early, because you want a lot of leaf on it when it's a little tiny plant, because that's pushing out more root. That bigger root ball means bigger plant. So, but then leaves are what help push out that root. So if you get in there and you start trimming off too many leaves too quick and wonder why your plant's not growing, it's because you stunted it by shocking the root system too quick. So once your plant gets a little bigger, then you can, because you got to remember, once you get ready to go into flower, you're not growing leaf, you're growing bud. And I'll likely say that a million times here between now and September, but it's because it's true. You're not growing leaf. If you were in the leaf growing business, then keep them in veg and continue to feed them nitrogen.
Okay, so I'm going to speed things up here a bit.
Yeah.
I've got this product here.
Yeah, Resin XS.
Okay, so I've lost everything from last year. So what I need to know is how much of each one. So Resin X.
None
yet.
None. That's for flowering.
Okay.
I can make it so simple for you, Al. A, B, and root.
No, just hear me out. Just let me do this.
Go ahead.
Let me do this way. The flower enhancer.
Nope.
Flowering.
No. Okay, there's a reason I'm doing this, Marcel. I'm writing it down as well. Organobug.
No.
Not yet.
Wait, how big are the plants?
10 inches?
No.
No, not yet.
No.
Root XS.
Yes.
Yes. How much?
3 parts per liter, or 3 milliliters per liter.
3 mils per liter, yeah.
Okay, so I'm using a 5-gallon to mix everything in. And what I was doing last year was 20 of each.
Well, so if you're using a 5-gallon bucket, then you're going with 45 mils.
Well, no. I'm just putting it in there to mix it, and then I dump that into the big reservoir. Right?
What?
How
big is the big reservoir?
I think it's 15.
And do you fill it?
Yes.
So why don't you mix in the reservoir?
Well, that's what I'm going to do, but I still need the measurements.
So you're mixing for 15 gallons.
But however many gallons.
Hold on. Let me just back up. Okay. Last year,
yeah,
with my reservoir, we were doing 20 of each and 5 of the root excess for regular food, not for flowering. That's what I was doing. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So am I using 20 again of the Organobud?
Oh, you're not using Organobud yet.
Not yet. I'm using okay, so how much root excess? 20?
No, if you're mixing.
How many liters of water are you going to mix up at one time, Al?
I'm going to mix up a 5-gallon jug.
So that's 20 liters.
Sorry, a 5-liter bucket.
5-liter bucket is only just over a gallon and a half.
So then they're 15. I don't know. What are the regular sizes of a bucket?
Most buckets
like
come
a big,
between 19 and 22 liters.
the big paint bucket, like a big white paint bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 gallons.
5 gallons.
Liters. Yeah.
20 liters.
Okay, so that's
20.
what I'm mixing in, and then I take that and dump it into the reservoir. So whatever's in that bucket goes in there, and then I add water when I need it, and then I do another one when that's empty. Like I'll top it up. Right?
Okay. Yeah. How big's your reservoir? 15 gallon?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So then you're going to want to mix in that bucket enough for 15 gallons.
Well, I'll do 10 and 5.
What do you mean 10 and 5?
How much is the bucket?
5 gallons.
The bucket's 5, so you're going to have to fill it 3 times to fill up your reservoir.
Okay, 3 times.
But you can save yourself a lot of work if you mix your first bucket with all your nutrients in it, and then your next 2 buckets are just straight water.
Well, that's kind of what I was doing.
Why not just do this? You know your reservoir is going to be 15 gallons.
Okay.
Start your garden hose in your reservoir.
Yes.
Just here, let me grab my calculator, and I'll give you the right numbers for this for 15 gallons.
By rights, that's
I hope it's 15 gallons.
Well, if it's 15,
this is an auto
60
pot.
liters.
It's an auto pot, Marcel. It's an auto pot, and it's the one.
I don't know how big the reservoir is.
Is it the black square one now?
Yeah, it's
black
like
square with top. That's 15. That's 10, 12. They got 12 gallons out. I can check here on my website.
I'm looking. I'm going to look while you guys are looking at that.
But Marcel, by rights, if he's mixing 60 liters, that should be 15 gallons. 60 mils.
They are 50. The reservoir is this is a 4-pot system.
Yeah.
With a 15-liter pots, and the reservoir is. Go on, keep doing what you're doing.
No, I'm waiting to hear the number from you.
The reservoir
so I can put in my calculator.
Is 47 liters.
47 liters.
That doesn't make sense.
10 gallon, a little over 10 gallon, Marcel.
Yeah, that's about right.
Is that what it is? That
12 gallon,
right?
Marcel? Ain't that 12 gallon almost?
It says 147 liter tank lid top hat grommet.
Yep.
No, that's yeah.
So it's 47 liters.
All right. So 140 milliliters
of
Root XS.
140 milliliters. All right. What are the other ones that I got here?
140 milliliters of Veg A.
Veg 1 I have.
He's got Veg 1, Marcel. It's totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Different numbers. I think he uses 7 milliliters, 7 to 14 milliliters per liter.
Al, turn that jar around and look on the label.
I can't see it, but it's too small.
Can you hold it up to the camera? I might be able to read it for you.
Gonna make him big.
No.
Oh.
Ain't gonna work.
7.5. Yeah, 7.5.
7.5. So he's just got Veg 1.
Yeah, he got the Veg 1. He didn't get AB.
I have Veg 1 and I have the system maintenance left. That's it.
7.5.
This is just for your water lines, Al.
Yeah, I know.
47. 352.5 milliliters.
352.5 milliliters.
So you'll have enough in that jug. Is it full, Al?
You know what? It's about halfway full. So
you got enough for 2 feedings in there then.
Yeah.
Is it what?
You got enough
Probably
for 2
enough in there for 2.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you've got system maintenance.
Yes, sir.
You're going to want to run that through your lines.
Yep. Hold that jar up for Darcy. Actually, hang on, because I've got a jar of system maintenance and I can read it from here.
I'll say.
I've got one in my tent.
Now, Al, the question here is I got to figure out, is it cheaper for you to buy your nutrients in Toronto and get shipped to you, or is it cheaper for me just to ship you free stuff?
What do you think? Free stuff's always.
It is, but if it costs me $80 to get it to you, you can buy liters of that for $20, and I can get it shipped to you cheaper.
Well, let's think about that.
47 milliliters of system maintenance.
System maintenance.
47 milliliters.
47 milliliters.
Make a note somewhere that your tank is a 47-liter tank for next year.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna rewrite. I meant to rewrite everything out in my journal book, but I didn't.
Now, you've got an EC meter.
I do, but I have not figured out how to use it.
Well, you stick the prong in and turn it on. And it's going to read on the screen, and it's going to give you an EC reading. What's 1500, Darcy?
1500, Marcel, is an EC of 3.
This is what I have.
What do you got, Al?
All I got is the side of your head.
Okay, that's going to read TDS.
Oh, so you want around 1500.
And do I have to use the package that they've given me?
The what?
Oh, those are the calibrate and buff and storage solution. You always make sure that little storage solution is in with that little eye, and do not let it dry out. If you got no storage solution, store it in water.
I don't have anything. I haven't done anything with it since I got it, but
no,
once package,
because it's brand new. Once you open it up and start using it, do not let it dry out. It'll fuck that little eye.
Here's the easiest thing to do. Always have a glass of water.
Yeah.
This thing?
Yes. Set it in a glass of water at all times if you run out of storage solution.
It always has to stay wet.
And check it every week because it'll dry out quick.
Oh, so you mean once I start using it?
Yes.
Yep. Once you start using it,
all right.
You've got to keep it wet.
Basically, it's a very important tool that you have to keep a lot of maintenance up on.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, they don't read right. Just ask Dale. He knows about it because his pH went all wonky with his pH pen.
Yeah. So with that, Al, because it's a TDS, it's going to read in parts per million. And you want to maintain your tank at around 1500 parts per million. So when you mix all of that up, you put the meter in, it should read at those measurements around 1500.
Well, when I do that, I will do that here with you guys.
Yeah, but a week later, you're going to check it again. And if the parts per million starts going up, what do?
I don't know.
Just add water.
Add water.
Bring it back down because the heat will rise your EC in that tank.
Right.
Okay.
And
it's already gotten up to 30 degrees in there.
Right. And the evaporation of the water.
Yeah. Correct.
Right. So, the tank's got to cover. That'll help slow down, but it doesn't stop it completely. So it's got to be checked at least once a week.
I just take the cap off of that thing and stick it in the water.
Yep.
Yeah.
And whisk it around and wiggle it, like swirl it around in a circle. Stir your tank up good though. If you ain't got an air stone in your tank, Al, stir your tank up good first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have an air
you
stone.
You should go get yourself an air stone.
Well, how much are those?
They're dirt cheap. You can get them on Amazon dirt cheap for like what, $10-15 Marcel?
Well, he needs the air pump.
Let's make a message. Let's make a note of. We'll do a search on that next week.
Yes, because you want an air stone in there to keep circulating your water, so your nutrients don't settle all to the bottom of your tank.
Right now, I'm going to smoke this joint because you guys are buzzing my brain out.
Okay.
With information.
Well, you smoke your joint, and I'm going to look up something for you because I've never looked for this price on here.
Yeah, so I got plants right now in like all different stages. So I cooked 10 of them seeds, Al, in a great big pot.
Sorry, my brain is still on food. At what point do I add the other things?
Once you plant your organobud, you can add about 2 to 3 weeks before your plants start to flower.
So for now, this mixture is for veg, and that's it.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
But where you only have a certain amount of organobud, I prefer if you only start to feed it to your plants a week early instead of 3 weeks early, so it would you get more use out of it in flower.
Okay, because I've had 2 years of wasting it.
Yeah, I had 2 years of wasting it. Yeah. So I want.
No, I shouldn't say that, because you know what? The buds that I produced last year were nice. They were big, huge fuckers, but there was only 6 of them. I didn't even get a quarter pound out of everything.
Shake them jugs really, really good before you start. And you might in your veg one, you might hear what sounds like rocks in it.
Is that crystals?
Yeah, just keep shaking it. They'll eventually go away.
Just salt.
All right.
They'll go away. Yeah.
I'll be doing that. Yep. And I can start feeding them as soon as I get them into the pots, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That will do me for the weekend.
Yep.
Wow, this is cool. I'm looking at
next subject
at air pumps. Lithium battery powered portable aquarium air pump.
That's all I need is an aquarium air pump?
That's all you need.
That's all you need with an air stone.
There's a pet store here that has that shit.
Yeah. Sure. And drop it because your res tank has that hole in the top of it.
Yes, it does.
That's for an air stone.
That's actually where I stick my hose.
Yeah, that's for an air stone too.
Okay.
So because you can sit your little pump on top that blows the air, and it blows right straight down.
Okay.
Yeah.
It works.
They work pretty slick, Al.
Okay.
I got a mag drive pump in my reservoir tank, but I also have 4 goldfish in my reservoir tank too. So I don't put food nutrients in that. I use that water, EC it first, see where it's at, and then I'll add I'll supplement my Floramax till I hit the proper EC that I need. It's what I'm trying this year because Dale shared me a thing there, and I was like, well, my goldfish are way too big for my tank because I only got a 20-gallon tank, and the goldfish already weigh 1.5 pounds each. So I had to move them. So I moved them outside to that for the summer, and then I'll figure out what to do with them for the winter.
I'm thinking fucking sushi, man.
I'm thinking fucking sushi. Can you eat carp?
Sure, people eat carp.
I don't know.
They eat suckers.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you how your carpe diem is going.
Yeah, they're growing.
Really?
They're in a 50-pound drum.
Taken any food out yet?
What's that?
Have you taken any of the water out yet?
Yes, I have. I've been feeding it to my all my flowers and stuff. And well, they're growing like crazy out there, so something must be working. But I EC'd it the other day, and it's only at a 0.6, which is 300 parts per million. So it's gaining, right? But you got to remember that's only 4 goldfish. I'm not feeding them very much. I feed them like whenever I remember because there's lots of bugs that hit that water too, and mosquitoes. So there's should be lots of food in that water.
Yeah, huh?
So,
bug food.
Yeah, bug food, and bugs will make them grow a lot faster than that stuff you buy from the store. So,
more natural. What Dale just posted here as a URL. I'll look at it after. It won't post there.
Oh, is that his pump he grabbed? Yeah, I seen a picture of it the other day.
Yeah, what's Dale pumping?
What's Dale pumping?
I can't. Dale, do me a favor and send me the URL on Messenger, would you? Because I can't copy that, and then I can look at it.
See, I saw the picture. I saw the picture that he posted of the pump, but I'm just wondering because he doesn't have any lakes or anything around him.
I don't know.
What's he pumping?
Water, Marcel.
From where?
His reservoir tank.
How big's his reservoir tank?
I honestly don't know yet.
Well, from looking at that picture, I would say that if his tank is anything less than 100 gallons, it's going to be emptied in seconds.
So it's cost effective.
Well,
So he's got a 100-gallon reservoir.
Yeah.
That pump.
How many horsepower is that pump, though, Marcel? Because if that's only a quarter horsepower pump,
What,
then
350 gallons a minute?
What if it's an eighth of a horsepower?
150 gallons a minute?
You remember the ones that I was looking at the other day I was telling you about?
1 horsepower?
Holy shit, mate. That'll move her, boy.
Set it on a timer to run for 2 seconds.
100 gallon, he said.
Every 3 hours. Yeah, I think that's some pumping.
Well,
you can throttle back on your nozzles.
He can, but I do agree with his point though.
What?
No breaking his back lugging water.
I'm not lugging water.
No,
well, I can't
I'm
say that.
seeing-
I'm lugging food right now, but it's pretty friggin' easy.
Yeah, I'm lugging water right now, and God love my wife. She asks every time when I go out, she asks me, "Do you want me to help you feed?" And most times she comes out and helps me. But I'm gonna set up another reservoir tank over on the hill, and I'm gonna run some lines and see how it works gravity fed.
Yeah,
because I don't really want to hook up a pump and run all that. I just don't want to go through all the work to do that right now. So I'm gonna try a gravity fed one first and see how it drips out.
Put it on
even if it's something in the middle of the heat of the summer, so I don't have to water twice a day, right? So I can water once in the morning, and then what's dripping out throughout the day keeps your pots wet enough till the next morning, right?
Right. Dale's still lugging water. He's still hand watering.
Is he still hand watering?
Yeah, he's just transferring them from one reservoir to another. Which, yeah, I'd want a fast pump for that.
Yeah, I would too. My mag drive pump.
I used to have a really nice pump that ran off of a drill.
I've seen them, Marcel.
What a beautiful pump it was. I used to have it for my water bed. It would
sell them on
my
Temu,
water
right?
bed in seconds.
Yeah, they sell them on Temu, yeah, for your drill. Little water transfer pumps for your drill.
I don't know if I'd want a Temu one. If I was going to,
there's some things you just don't buy on Temu.
Yeah,
like cameras
and sex toys.
What's wrong with sex toys? I just ordered a bunch.
Not from Temu, you don't want them, buddy.
Why? Aren't they tested?
You don't know what you're getting.
I just want to make sure they've been tested.
Yeah, they've been tested all right. Hey, that's like the Amazon store. Some of the stuff, my kid was going to buy a pair of clippers, and he opened them up because some of the stuff's returns, and there was still hair in them, and he's like, "No, I don't think I'll put them back."
Yeah, pass on that one.
Yeah, pass on that one. Yeah, but he did get me a good wheelchair cushion, and actually, I'm going to try that tomorrow because the one I'm sitting on right now is going to be washed. So
nice. So Al, did you get all your cannabis questions answered tonight?
I always have I always have questions. You know that.
Did you
are
you able to save some questions for next week?
I'm already on those.
Okay.
I was chatting with Hash Rookie earlier too, Al, and he said he'd love to come on and chat here in a couple weeks. Hash Rookie?
Invite him. Just set a date and tell me when it is.
Yeah, because he was already on once talking with us, and he said he'd love to come back on and talk again.
Let's do it. Set it up.
Yeah, I am. And then because he goes to a place out west to a thing every evening.
I'd like to start having more.
Sitting here fucking thinking, who in the fuck are you talking about?
Now you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
But anyways, yeah. So
I don't know him as Hash.
And you should also poke Ken and get him on again.
Yes, to be honest with you, I haven't spoke with Ken in over a year. To be honest, he's been super busy. I know that Will got my buddy of mine. Will, I was chatting with him the other day, and he said he got to speak with him for a quick second.
Well, I'm glad he's busy.
Yeah, well, they're selling lots of nutrients over there in Australia. Australia's starting to.
I know. I'm really enjoying watching. I'm in a couple of groups, so I'm enjoying watching the positive outcome as opposed to the last 10 years of negativity.
They're in New Zealand.
Yes, and they're finally coming around. Like they are like where we were 10 years ago.
Yeah, and he does a lot of business with Tasmania too.
Wow.
Yeah, because I always hear him over whenever I was chatting with him before. He was always over in Tasmania, but yeah. So good for him though, because the product works. There's no denying that.
Well, you know what? I'm looking forward to actually giving it a good whack this year. So
well, you won't be disappointed.
I hope not, because it's about fucking time.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, my first couple of grow seasons out were shitty, and then I started getting better at it. And last year, when Dale gave me the purple satellites, I kept one for myself, and because he gave me 5, and I kept one for myself. Then I gave my mom 1, and I gave 2 to Marcel. And because Marcel had 2 of them last year, didn't you, Marcel?
What's that?
Purple satellites. You had 2 of them last year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it because I haven't tried it.
But I kept 1, and I grew it, and I babied it, and I fed it, and I looked after it well, and she fucking grew into a monster, man. I was really impressed, and I was really impressed on how fast when it started flowering, it started to fucking pack on the weight fast.
Well, we've got 4 going, so
I got 5 of them out there. I got 10 more clones in the living room, and I got 10 clones in the shed.
I have a few.
I'm thinking
that's the majority of my garden is all purple satellite.
But I'm thinking though, to be totally honest with you, knowing what
is it a heavy indica? Is that what it is?
I found it more.
It's a hybrid.
I found
it depends on when you harvest it, because I harvest early.
Yeah.
Mine is more sativa-like.
Yeah. I harvested mine like 2 weeks after Marcel. So Marcel
Darcy harvested later, and his is more indica-sided.
I harvested mine the 10th to the 15th of September last year, and I started cutting down the plants on the 10th, and I finished on the 15th, and I kept all of it separated. And the stuff that was done right around from the 13th to the 15th was perfect. The wife, that's where she really liked it. That's where I really liked it.
Sorry.
It's the terpene profile was out of this world. I know it didn't degrade too much because
did you make any oil out of it or anything?
No, I still on my shake.
Is it not really an oil strain?
No, it makes awesome. It makes awesome rosin. Dale gave me some rosin.
So it's gonna squish nice, eh?
Oh, it fucking makes awesome rosin.
Awesome.
The rosin, Dale's getting really good at squishing rosin, so he definitely must be reading and paying attention, because I noticed his rosin like stepped up big game. It's awesome. Like, he gave me some purple satellite here, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I just found the last little bit of it there the other night, and well, I got maybe a 1/4 gram here in front of me, and I'm going to do a dab it here in 10 minutes or 15 minutes here when I get ready to go to bed.
Cool.
So
awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's an awesome strain. I really do like it.
I like it so much that I've got a garden full of it.
But I'm also curious too because I crossed my Kush mints with the K-Mac and I grew them both outside last year and they both finished. So I'm kind of curious to know what that's going to give me.
Are you using that for your oil, Marcel?
Yep.
Oh, that's going to make awesome oil.
Yep. But I've got 2 other plants. Well, I've got a Durban poison.
So you'll mix that in with?
Sales cutting. No, that's just for smoking.
Oh, okay.
And you got
and then I've got a plum crazy hash plant, and I was looking for hash
what it
plant,
is. But none of the res stores had them.
Our res store has all kinds of them plum crazy clones for sale right now.
Oh, I know, eh? We went to the Grand River Reservation and they had every store had clones.
See, I'm thinking that if I do like this, I'll pick it up and maybe do that next year, depending on what it produces.
What clones at the res?
The plum crazy one.
No, Marcel got a feminized seedling.
Oh.
I don't have a clone. I have a seedling.
He has a feminized seedling.
I might take my own cutting off of it if I like the structure of the plant while it's still in veg.
Yeah,
and then I can make a mother.
Yeah, it is a good strain. I tried it. I tried the weed from it. It is really good. It's super crystally.
Crystal's good.
Yeah, good
terpene, good too.
Good terpene profile to it too, but a good terpene profile comes down to the grower because if you can do an awesome grow and dry it and fuck it, so which I see happen more times than fucking Heinz has pickles.
I don't think I should have smoked that cherry dragon.
Why?
I can't.
Oh, it gave you Chinese eyes.
I can't see anything.
I'll get high.
He got Chinese eyes.
Hey, I've got a great summer tip for everybody, though.
What?
If you're bothered by hornets and wasps and things like that,
stay inside.
No, and you're at like at a function with a lot of people, just put a gob of jam on some kid's head. Right? And they'll leave you alone as long as it's somebody else's kid. Don't do it with your own kid because they fucking glom onto you and shit when bugs come around. So.
Yeah, and don't run down through a field and kick an oil jug either, because I did that when I was 3 years old and I got stung 246 or something like times. It was something like that. I know they rushed me to the hospital and put me in a bathtub full of ice. So
I was leaving my house in Mount Forest one day and I opened the door and then I put my hand. You open the door, you put your hand on to open the screen door. And put my hand right on a fucking wasp.
Yeah,
oh yeah!
Ouch!
I kicked out.
We were moving a deck and hit a wasp nest, and the wasp come down while I was holding up the corner of the deck with somebody under it, and I watched the wasp sting me on the wrist, and I never did crush the guy.
I've been stung a few times. It's not fun.
It hurts just as much when you can watch it happen as it does when you don't watch it. But
what the fuck was that?
If you get stung by a wasp or a hornet, here's the best trick in the world.
Put cannabis on it.
No.
WD-40.
No. Tobacco.
Windex.
Tobacco.
Really?
Just break off the end of a cigarette, get it wet in your mouth, and stick it on the wasp or the sting. And it'll literally suck all of the poison out.
Cool. Answer Dale's question before we say goodbye.
Anyone grow Runts or Gelato 33 or Cherry Lemonade? Not outdoors.
The Runts. That's what it was, Marcel. That's what that's what the other strain was at the liquor store. It was a Runts. It was a Runts cross.
Is it?
Yes.
I think the Runts cross should finish outdoors. Gelato 33.
It will too, Dale. I've heard people grew it last year, but now whether or not it was real Gelato 33, I don't know.
Cherry limeade? I don't know. I've never heard of cherry.
Question.
Well,
if you were to test the genetics of a seed, would you be able to tell if that seed was an original?
You mean like a land race?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they are decoding genetics now, so
yeah, very likely they could.
Like if I had a runt,
but
and I wanted to know it was a runts, could I take it somewhere and they could tell me exactly the lineage of that seed?
Yeah, but it'll never grow. Like
No.
you wouldn't get the seed back.
No, I know. But if you had, and you would never know if it was a bunch of the same seeds or not, really. Hey, you out.
Yeah.
That'd be a hard one to discover, I guess.
Hybrid strain.
Hey. Rosa.
What is it crossed with? Man, there's not much info on it. Just hybrid.
Now I've got the yawns. I think a nap is coming.
Now, I suppose it is only, 8 o'clock? You up there now? No, 9 o'clock.
It sounds like it's a pretty balanced 50-50 hybrid strain.
What, the satellite?
No, the cherry limeade.
Oh, okay.
But there's very little information on it. Yeah, 50-50. It's a cross of cherry pie and black lime reserve. Yeah. Has a tasty cherry lime flavor. Sure it does. Still tastes like fucking pot. Black lime reserve has got 70% indica. Purple Kush, Northern Lights, Chem Dog. Cherry Pie's got indica.
You got 8 minutes, Marcel.
Granddaddy Purple and Durban Poison. Yeah. Hybrid strain. There's not much growing information on it for information on whether or not it'll finish outdoors.
To be continued. Say goodnight, guys.
Hey, Al, guess what?
What?
Good night, guys.
Oh, I did my math. I was calculating my ice cream strength.
Oh.
Since I put 2 in my coffee, and then I figured out that they were 47 milligrams per tub of ice cream.
My God, I'm wrinkly. Okay, say goodnight.
That's because you're old.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye-bye, Marcel.
Peace out.